That's good.
And then we'll obviously get, and then obviously once I've done that, we will obviously get into the main course, so to speak. Welcome back everyone to another episode of Queer Gossip Podcast. This is episode number 22. As you can tell, or maybe not tell from the title, we will be checking out Arty Morty. But before then, excuse me, I want to give a shout out to a couple of friends of mine. Let's start with Zharwyn, who I want to give a shout out to Zharwyn, who lives in Sweden. She is a Twitch streamer. She is trans herself. And yeah, she has built a really good community on her Twitch. And she's just an all-round awesome human. She's very positive. And so yeah, I wanted to give her a shout out.
So aside from living in Sweden, we have nothing in common then.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to go and follow her, then by all means do. Even check out her on Twitch if you are into games or you just want to hang out with her. I do not
understand Twitch.
I use Twitch, like I use it to watch Zharwyn and other people, but I don't necessarily use it myself. In terms of
I'm so fucking ancient. Like, I don't know if I made it perfectly clear. Like, technologically speaking, I'm grandma. I'm so fucking bad at anything technological. Aesthetically speaking, but like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So I don't like this new thing called the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, the good old internet. This next person is another friend of mine, or I'd like to at least see him as a friend of mine. Let me go back. So they recently came out as trans.
Oh, cool.
On their Twitch. They go by Nyx, NYX. Again, another awesome human who just is really, really attentive, passionate about gaming. Has built up a really nice community. So yeah, I just wanted to give them both a shout out, especially Nyx. And so yeah, if any of you want to go and follow both of them, then by all means do. But yeah, both of them don't know that I've done this, so but they're gonna find out when I tag them in the Twitter post that I do later. So yeah, I just wanted to do that. Sprinkle in a little bit of positivity before we get into the aggravation part.
Yeah. I'm sorry about what's going to happen right now because there's going to be a flash and a bit of a noise. I'm trying to learn how this fucking thing functions.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of pictures, like since yesterday.
Awesome.
But I'm trying to like, how the fuck do you take a selfie without seeing yourself? And like, I seem to have done my makeup without seeing myself, but like, my eyesight is shot to shit today for some reason, and like, I have to take off my glasses to put on makeup, and I'm not used to it. Like, I usually wear contacts, but I haven't bought any new contacts now, so.
Yeah, I might. I mean, obviously, I wear glasses. I mean, I've got one good eye, and I've got one really fucked up eye, and so the good one has to basically take the brunt of everything that I have to fucking look at. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I might look
Yeah.
into contact lenses because I mean, round glasses doesn't bother me, but I just like to have that option, I guess. Or
Yeah, also
let's
it's
say I
nice to
don't.
have peripheral vision, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I might look into it. I'll probably wait until my next eye appointment, which will be next year.
But
So
like,
I'll
if
probably
my
wait
makeup
till then.
looks smudged, if my makeup looks smudged today, it's because I couldn't see fucking shit. So like, me
Yeah,
not looking like an actual fucking clown right now, that shows I am good.
yeah. If I was to take these off, don't get me wrong, I can see, but my vision will be slightly blurry. I
Yeah.
could probably do this without my glasses on, but I need to see what I'm fucking doing. So yeah.
Oh,
But
do you know what I've learned, by the way, since last time?
what's that?
I know that, like, I own a bunch of these fuckers, like now, because I started recording on fucking VHS tapes because I don't like to do things that will make me popular, I guess. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to stick to analog media. But like, I learned how to digitize the VHS tapes now. I like own the
Awesome.
shit and stuff, which also means that I'm now like, if you want to digitize with the VHS tapes, all it costs you is like $10 and a fucking VHS tape for me. I will take the VHS tape afterwards. That's how I get them.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love learning. I love learning things. You know.
Yeah, I've been kind of like going crazy with the whole, and I've been doing the whole like video shit as well. Which I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
watched them,
Um.
but they're like the fucking most chaotic thing that I've ever done in my entire fucking life. They're just pure falling through the face of the earth chaos. It's beautiful. I like it. I think at some point actually it
Now
hits.
for
Yeah.
now it's now you can because obviously right, let me go to present again, share screen, yes, that, share. So this is what I basically said. So
Yeah.
you know,
I saw this one. I think I liked it actually. Like I'm bad
yeah,
at like being a good person on Twitter, like being a
yeah,
friend and stuff.
yeah.
I
So yeah, that's what I said, and then let me go back, and then obviously, it's had like 237.6 views,
yeah, yeah, that
and
one got the spread.
lo and behold, look who chimed in.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't see this one. all those people, if they are like, that's the kind of thing that fucks me up about it, because like the thing that everyone who claimed to be trans but get caught in like shit, they got caught. Like clearly the system works as it should then. Like what the fuck? They didn't end up in a women's jail then. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
and not
ah.
just
I saw Glenn actually said something.
yeah. This is why Twitter is such a fucking dumpster fire, because look at this,
Yeah.
right? Like this has its visibility reduced because for some unknown reason I put the word "sit" in there, it gets flagged.
Yeah.
That's how fucked
Have
up
you
it is.
tried doing it with the umlaut? Like the way I do tranny every time I type it? Like I do the dots terminate. Which is funny because in Swedish that would actually be pronounced tranny.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. But
Yeah.
also,
I don't
yeah,
know. Or like
but yeah,
cis.
yeah. But
But yeah, no,
obviously,
like yeah, of course, cis isn't that fucking slur, you fucking idiots. Like
yeah,
Jesus fucking Christ. At least tranny is one.
and the
It's just
bloated
one that I
buffoon popped up.
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh look, it's a stray cunt.
Yeah. Or could it be that you're a moron?
Oh yeah. What a fucking retort. Have you noticed it's always like the same 4 people in those fucking pictures?
Yeah. Like this person here, right? Obviously, you can only see like the mid section. That is Ida Bryson, aka Adam
Yeah.
Graham, the double rapist. Who didn't? I mean, I've said this all before, so I don't need to repeat it. But yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been letting them go. I've just been letting them go at it.
Yeah, like fucking. I actually did have some shit.
Yeah, it's like if you, like I said, seriously,
Yeah.
truly ask
Yeah.
yourself.
They're not sending their best. Or
No,
they are, and that's a fucking horrifying thought, isn't it?
no, it's like I had one. I was talking to one of them last night. Who was making no sense. What a shocker.
Yeah,
Another one, falsely accused me of being a groomer again, which is typical. It's like, seriously, if you think that, attacking me or because you want to defend
I'm.
some weirdos, then be my guest.
Yeah.
But, that's the shit show, the fast dumb that's kicked off.
Yeah. I'm so sad that like I'm so mad that like out of the two, not to like make any claims against you, but I'm the one who's like an open sexual fucking deviant out of the two of us. Where's my trash fire?
I don't know. apparently it's got something to do with how I look. Apparently, the simple fact that I'm visibly tattooed, and the fact that
Yeah.
I have a mental illness in my bio, so that's their go-to.
My bio is
I had what?
it's like what the fuck?
Yeah,
No, but yeah, I get it. I'm being
yeah.
I mean
I had one.
I mean
I had
yes.
one. Yeah, I had one of them call me mentally impaired,
Ah,
and I'm like. And then he said, and then in that same sentence, he was like, if you can't tell the difference between a male and a female, a girl and a boy, you are mentally impaired. I'm like, what's that got to do with it?
and why can't he then tell the difference? Why did he? Like, because they can't. They can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking look at
But
Sam.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Motherfucker's saying, and like that's the funniest thing because they do like transphobia, they do like homophobia against him, and they do like slut shaming against me, which means like they're kind of proving that they see us as other gender. And I know Sam is cis, like, but they don't know that, and that's what's the point here. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my cigarettes. That's what I'm like staring
So
at.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with them. They constantly attack cis people, mistaking them for trans. I mean, it's happened for me.
Yeah.
It's happened to me, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, like,
But
and they've mistaken me for cis, for fuck's sake. Like, that's before they uh,
yeah,
end up hearing my voice, which is now the first thing you do if you look at my page. So that's not going to
yeah,
happen in a while. Can
yeah.
we just go and I just need to like I did a fucking thumbnail and that made me so happy. Did you see that? I need to this. Could you if you can go on my Twitter page because this is actually genuinely the funniest thing I've ever done in my life. I think.
Is it the Conquered Bread one?
Yeah. The one that's locked at the moment. It got locked because I sent someone the "you're a fucking idiot and you should kill yourself right now." But that's just a quote. It's like it's my pinned post, I think. I have this like I've done a parody of a YouTube thumbnail for my videos, and I think it's the funniest fucking shit I've ever done. Like I'm very easily amused though. Like this is what I've been up to.
Most chaotic
Well,
religion ever.
yeah, yeah. Can we? This is actually fucking fun.
Are you ready to find out what the most chaotic religion in the world is? It is not what you think unless you think what it is, in which case it absolutely is what you
Oh yeah,
think it
that one.
is.
Look at how many fucking parentheses I got there. I actually counted them. But that's like I've been doing this video series lately. And that's actually I've had so much fun with it. I've ruined 2 books. Like I beat Atlas Shrugged to death with a hammer. Literally, all the pages fell out. Um, and then I ripped another one to shreds. It's fucking great. So I can recommend checking that out.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, to our listeners, if you want to find out what Max is up to in her spare time, then I implore you to go follow her. Because it's a wild ride.
Oh yeah,
And she
we're
actually
actually starting to get to like the point. Sorry.
no, go on.
Yeah, we're actually getting to the point where like a plot is starting to like take form, which is really funny.
Yeah,
I have a plan.
absolutely.
I have like 18 months planned ahead when it comes to like my weird art shit, not when it comes to like anything else in my life. I don't. But I'm good at
Yeah.
story. I had a cunt trigger me last night.
How so?
Oh no, I don't know what happened. Because like I've been kind of laying off the like Twitter fight, and not for any other reason than I got kind of bored with it for a bit, and I kind of needed to take a break from it. And so and also I've been doing like I say, I've been doing like the video and shit, and that's like those videos are actually me recording for like 6 hours straight, and like never, not any, and then I edit it, so it takes a lot of time, and like I've been learning how to fucking do shit, so I haven't had time to go into Twitter fights that much, but I've decided to go back into it, and it's been nice, but then like. Out of fucking nowhere came like a rape reference last night, and I was so caught off guard that it kind of fucked me up. And then I kind of like I went on like this so like oh yeah congratulations you're the first fucker who won over me you fucking idiot. But then I kind of fixed that trauma Like I had to think about it so intensely, and he just refused because I like told him like stop respond. Could you stop? Because I felt for the first time ever like genuinely fucking threatened on Twitter, which was fucking weird. But it had nothing to do with the cunt. It had all to do with the fact that he was so boring that I didn't expect him to go there. And when he did, I was so caught off guard that it like triggered something in me, and it was really fucking weird. But when I got out of it, when I got better, um, it felt so fucking good to just kick the shit out of him, and I did.
Yeah,
I got myself a 2 days into fucking going back into the Twitter fray, and I get my like 7 days suspension. Yeah, I'm glad to know I'm still fucking me.
yeah. The thing that you have to understand, and I'm not saying you, but for people listening and watching, is with Twitter now, like it was already doing this before Elon Musk bought the company, but the reporting system, the TOS of Twitter is utter fucked.
Oh yeah, it's
And so,
bullshit.
you know,
But like at least, yeah,
make it more if they made it more structured and set and outlined what you cannot say, and if you say these words,
yeah,
you could be suspended for 7 days or whatever. If it was more streamlined, then we would
yeah,
probably understand as the users, and we would probably use it differently. But you can be flagged for anything. It's fucking stupid. Like me using
yeah,
cis for fuck's sake. It's on your birth
yeah.
certificate. It's on your birth
That's
records for
dumb.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's fucking dumb. But like, yeah, I like if you do a scroll on my fucking timeline, I clearly fucking deserved it yesterday. I think what actually got me was me. I think it was a permaban thing actually. Like not a permaban thing, like a instant. Like I think it was a bot because I said either learn how to reach or gouge your fucking eyes out to lose the ability altogether. And I think that was what got me. Because I think they like took it as bodily harm, and like by that point, I had actually said like the words "kill yourself" to him, and he tried to bait me. That was the funniest shit. He tried to bait me into saying it because I did the post, like one of my gifs. Like I posted one of my gifs, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you just come right out and say it? What do you mean by this?" And like, no, no, no. I'm not trying to be a good person here. I'm trying to like avoid a fucking ban. I'm saying exactly what I mean. I think the world would be a better place if you weren't in it. What the fuck? Uh, and he still kept going. Like he expected me to take the high road or something. I
Yeah.
had forgotten they do that. I had forgotten how much of a bad person I can be.
Yeah, well, I mean,
They deserve it.
I mean,
I don't believe in bad people anyway.
whether you deserved um your account to be locked for what you said, like, I mean, like I say, you obviously have owned up to it, so but
And,
like
and
I
like
said, the
yeah.
TOS, like, it's just fucked. Like, come
Oh
on,
yeah, it's complete shit.
like,
And I think like but I was just wondering when you said like if they had any clear guidelines. I wonder if I would follow them.
exactly. We wouldn't,
Like
but
I'm
yeah,
no, but I would know why I get like
yeah.
bullied.
But that's the thing.
I
We don't know why. And it's like I've had
yeah
at least 4 or 5 of my tweets. Their visibility was curtailed for no apparent reason, simply because I
yeah
used cis. But I've used cis and I've used it in various ways. I've used it cis as in
yeah
CIS. I've used C exclamation point S. That worked for a while. I'm gonna try
yeah
the umlaut one. See if that slips through. But it's like,
Yeah, like it
I've had
works
to,
with tranny and faggots.
yeah. Now I've had to revert to saying bio. Like instead of saying biological, I've had to revert to saying bio, bio,
Uh, that's really
man.
funny because I have something written about that.
And it's
Bio.
like that works. It's like, so you
It sounds like
don't
a fucking
use it.
superhero, though.
Yeah.
I'm Bioman.
Yeah. This is just Elon Musk being bored because he's a big fucking man baby who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. But anyway, enough about him.
There will come a time. There will come a time in that person's fucking life where he just realizes what he's lost. Low battery.
Yeah,
I just need to go grab the charger and
yeah,
try not to
no
show
problem.
my entire fucking ass to the world.
Like,
I will be
maybe
doing
get
that in
up.
a few months anyway.
Good for you.
Yeah. I have so much weird, fun shit planned in the future now. Like for my um for the existential horror film that is my internet presence. Um, I've. It will be a ride.
Absolutely. Right. We've
Yeah,
so yeah, let's
let's
start
go.
the fucking excuse me. Shit so I've already pre-made the thumbnail for the YouTube
Beautiful.
thing.
Yeah.
Let
I
me
laughed.
wait. Let me do that.
I gave like one really hard laugh when I saw your thumbnail for the last one. It was like, huh, what
Yeah.
the fuck is this? Yeah. Oh yeah. But that was not
Yeah.
what I
So
expected him to look like. He looks like a potato overgrown.
it looks like a fucking Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, like
Yeah.
physical features seem detachable.
Yeah.
Sorry, coming
So
right off the gate.
yeah,
Out of the gate.
this is I'll put it in the title, but this is his video. It's Science versus Spiritualism, not pro-trans versus anti-trans. So we're just gonna the same usual
Yeah.
as we've done many times before. So we're just gonna like obviously make sure I put that on. So we're gonna hit
you need to
play.
understand about the trans debate is that it isn't pro-trans versus anti-trans. It's trans as a scientific phenomenon versus trans as a spiritual and religious experience. The strangest thing about all these accusations of transphobia that get thrown around everywhere is that the most transphobic thing you can do is try to look into the phenomenon of trans, is to try to understand the science of it, to try to understand what's going on in people's minds, what the psychology is behind trans, what the biology is, what the whole phenomenon is scientifically. That is the most transphobic thing that you can do. When people accuse people of being outrageous bigots, what they mean is that those people are getting a little too close to figuring out what's going on scientifically, which is sort of like reaching behind the magic curtain. And these people, activists, strictly want the phenomenon of trans to be seen as just a magical spiritual experience, and they don't want anyone to burst that spiritual experience with a realistic understanding of what trans is. Let me give you a few examples. The two biggest sort of battlefields in the trans dispute right now are something called self-ID and around the treatment of children. And both of these disputes involve two perspectives, one that is highly scientific and rational, and one that is highly irrational and sort of spiritual and new agey and doesn't want to look at facts. So self-ID is a shorthand term for a dispute about who counts as trans and how do we distinguish a trans person from someone who isn't trans.
We're only 1 minute and 53 seconds into that, but let's
I'm
try
about
and...
to say. I'm just going to let the background speak for itself right now. What a fucking
Yeah.
muppet!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really proud of this one. I did not have that lined up. I just found it. I'm so happy.
Yeah. What a great segue. Yeah, but I mean,
What the fuck is he on about? Like, actually, literally, what the fuck is he talking about? Because I lost track somewhere. Like, he's fucking no, it's fucking nonsense. It's nothing. Jesus fucking Christ.
to say it's science versus spiritualism,
Yeah.
no, it's not. Now the two can coincide. The two can tag along, right? You can be,
Yeah.
you can have science and you can have a spiritualism, right? But the two will never marry, right? Because science will always
Oh.
trump spiritualism.
Yeah, like, what? How is it spiritualism? How is it?
So in layman's terms, right, to try and
Yeah.
help people understand who might not be
But is he doing the whole
accustomed
like
to,
soul, gendered soul bullshit and stuff?
yeah, it's
It's
like
like nobody believes that.
spiritualism, much like religion, is a connection, right?
Yeah.
It's your personal journey.
Yeah, and like it's different
It's
for
got nothing to
everyone.
do with. We're not even 2 minutes in, and he's already fucking making my brain hurt with all the bollocks he just spewed.
Yeah, he's not the brightest cunt in the bunch, of the bunch, is he?
No, it's not. Which is not surprising, really, given the fact that, you know, he hangs around with fucking Graham Linehan and Helen Stanley.
Oh yeah, you would have to be fucking brain dead for that to happen.
Yeah, because he's the one,
Like,
because he's the one who always spouts this autogynephilia, which Ray Blanchard, he's the one who coined the phrase autogynephilia. He wrote an article or something.
yeah, no, what he did
Or
write
whatever.
was he wrote he wrote a glorified fetishization of trans people. That's what he wrote. He's a fucking sick person.
And he got basically destroyed because his career basically ended.
Yeah,
Because he
I
wasn't,
got him.
because he, yeah.
I got him angry at me on my last account, I think, or the one before that, when I just said because he was talking about like the gay trans woman or the homosexual trans person. What was it? The gay transvestite, the autogynephilic transvestite, I think it's what he calls them, because he's a fucking muppet, so he doesn't understand what transvestitism actually is, or what transgenders are. But it's really funny because I just said this is, funnily enough, the gayest shit I've ever read, and also the gayest and most self-masturbatory thing I've ever read. And then he blocked the account.
Yeah, because, you know, what he wrote was just a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
And it's like, but yeah, but to equate spiritualism, you know, I'm more spiritual than religious, right?
Uh,
My journey, right? But to take science, which in case you don't understand, Arty, science evolves. It's always evolving. We are always learning new stuff.
yeah.
Science isn't set in stone. It's not, oh, this is the way it is, that's that. No, if you think that, then you must be severely fucking stupid. It's the same people who keep spouting sex is binary. Basic. I learned basic biology.
I actually have something I need. I'm going to need to like do something about that. Like the whole "what is a woman" bullshit and like basic biology bullshit. I've written something. I'm going to need to do that later, but just because that is the dumbest fucking bullshit I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Yeah. But let's
It
get back
genuinely
to
is. So
yeah.
yeah.
But let's get back to the circus.
Yeah.
This is a dispute about where the line is between just being a guy or being a trans woman, or where the line is between just being a woman or being a trans man. How do we define that line? As a scientific, rational mind would say, what is the difference? What are the steps that one takes to become trans? What are the material measurements we would make between somebody who's just saying that they're trans and somebody who really is trans? Even that language between really is gets really tricky really fast when you try to look into this rationally. But the kind of
because
new
you're the
agey
only people who
spiritual,
do that shit.
this is just an experience point of view says if someone says that they are trans, it's impossible for them to be lying. It's strictly the case that they must be experiencing this transcendental experience of transness. And how dare you ever question that? You must be a bigot. You are never to question anybody's statement that they are trans. It is strictly impossible that anyone could ever say that they're trans and not really be trans. It's strictly impossible that there are different.
I just want to say something,
Just,
and then I'll.
That's not true. That's just yeah.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say something, and then I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in having questions.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong in questioning someone, as long as that question is coming from a place they're not based in transphobia.
Oh.
Right? It's okay to question people. Right? It's okay to question people who may be struggling with, I don't know, their sexuality.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask questions, but it's how you ask them.
Like why you ask them?
Yeah, why are you asking? What is the motive behind you asking? So, don't start saying, "Oh, we can't ask questions." No, you can. It's how you say it. It's how you deliver them, and more importantly, it's up to that person whether they want to answer you or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they really don't fucking get, do they? Maybe I don't want to talk about my genitals like all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Maybe I find it fucking weird to do that. In fact, like I do. I genuinely find it really fucking weird to that how obsessed they are with like talking about my fucking cock.
Yeah, and if you are genuinely, concerned, or you genuinely don't know the difference between a cis man and a trans woman, again, it's okay to ask questions.
Oh.
But again, it's how you ask them. You don't go up to someone and say, "Are you trans?" No, you ask them in a way that, first of all, doesn't put their back up, right? Make them comfortable.
Yeah, that would be a fucking great ID, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's like, what planet are you on? Seriously. Like, fucking beam me up, Scotty.
Fucking, yeah. Oh, that's a Star Trek thing. I know that.
Yeah.
I've never seen Star Trek. I'm sorry. I got really happy that I fucking even recognize the shit. I've I've weirdly limited. I have such an extensive knowledge in like certain sort of pop culture, and then it's like if I'm not interested in something, then it's just
ways that people
but I
like
know beam me up,
Tommy
Scott.
understand that they are trans. It's strictly impossible that a con man might say that he's trans to get, say, a grant that's only available to trans people, or to enter into a political position. There are shortlists that are women
Oh yeah, you would love a grant for that only be available
only,
to
and
trans people,
sometimes
wouldn't you? You
this is
fucking
all
cunt.
to spiritualists. These very technical, very obviously plausible and possible phenomena are impossible. It is impossible that anyone could ever claim to be trans without being so. But a rational mind would say, well, of course that's possible. Of course, if we don't define the steps that one has to take to become trans, if we don't actually have a means of looking at somebody who's claiming to be a trans woman and verifying whether they really are or not, again, this is language that starts to fall apart once you even look at it. If there's no way of actually understanding what trans is, there are going to be problems. A lot of outsiders are starting to see this. A lot of outsiders are seeing that activists are talking in this language of absolutism and spiritualism, like trans people are this and trans people are that, and are starting to ask these rational questions like, okay, but who are trans people? How do you define a trans person? How do you distinguish a trans person from a non-trans person? How do you verify this? They're starting to figure out that it's not anti-trans to just try to examine this phenomenon with a rational lens.
Arty,
Who the
if you
fuck
had a
said it were?
rational lens, like, if you had a rational lens, it would fuck
Yeah.
off because it would soon realize that you're not rational. But also, it's like,
I think he's
verify.
rational. He's a sane person. He's a normal person.
So somebody's transness has to, so according to what Arty's saying, someone's transness or being trans has to reach a certain level to where people like him can justify, oh yeah, you're trans enough. What the fuck?
Fucking vile. But like, and what is that? Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Like, what line is there? Where do we draw it? How do we draw it? Like, I'm honestly asking now. I don't know.
Yeah. If anyone wants to, let us know, feel free. Obviously, we don't like
Yeah,
if
but
I don't,
do I count? Am I trans enough? Because I
this is
haven't like this. There's not a single fucking drop of estrogen, at least not officially taken, within me. I'm still a testosterone driven. My testosterone is shot to shit anyway. But like, am I trans enough for this fucking cunt, or would I have to like? I don't know. And this is actually fucking damaging as well because it leads to like trans people thinking they're not trans enough, and then they like fucking don't come out, and then they kill themselves.
yeah. He
Oh, we always
made
jump to that. I know because it fucking happens.
he made a similar argument towards gay people. Oh, you're not gay enough. So
Isn't he gay? Isn't he gay?
yeah, he is. He is gay.
How do you?
But I've used it. But I've used this term before. I think
Yeah.
I used it towards Blair White.
Uh,
He's another one of these pick me. He wants to be the only gay.
the thing about that is that in the end there will be no other like After the Great Genocide, there will be no other ones left, and then there will only be you left. And you do not for 1 second believe that they're going to consider you one of the good ones, then you fucking idiot.
No. But
I'm going to
you
shoot
know,
myself in the foot and then wonder why it hurts. Yeah,
yeah,
well,
it's like
fucking wonder.
I mean, I briefly looked when I say obviously bookmarked it. I briefly looked at the comments,
Yeah.
and it's like it's full of people praising him, saying, "Oh, you're brave. You're a brave soul. You're so articulate, Arty. You're so well spoken." It's like you can still be like you can. There are people out there who are well spoken, well
And he's
educated,
not. Oh,
right? Obviously he's not, no. But there are people
no.
who are well educated, very articulate, but they can still sound absolutely fucking stupid.
Hi. No, but like, and because he's using the language that I like. The reason that I talk the way that I do is partially because I think it's funny, and this is naturally how I speak. Like, I am a foul-mouthed motherfucker, but it's also because I don't want it to come across as like one of these gatekeeping academic types. I've said this multiple times before. Blah 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 blah. He's trying to do the kind of opposites. He's trying to be as gatekeepy as possible. He's trying to be as like academic sounding as possible. And if you need to hide your fucking stupidity behind some fucking veil of intellectualism brought to you by the fucking degree you have, then you are actually fucking pathetic.
Oh, absolutely.
And I have a master's in fucking linguistics. Like this, like speaking well is not my thing.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's like,
Mm.
but this is all I hear whenever I watch or hate watch, as I say, the mess with him. This is all I hear from him. This is all I hear. I hear him chatting shit. I hear Graham, who keep constantly, forgetting what he's trying to say. You have Helen getting pissed.
What the fuck does?
Constantly bringing up fucking genitalia.
Yeah.
What kind of podcast is that? But somehow people still fall for their shit because they think that they're doing the Lord's work. As one
Thank
was
fuck. Thank fuck I don't drink anymore, because otherwise that would be our podcast. We should be me getting drunk and talking about cock. Not my cock though, just the concept of cock in general. What's a good one? I'm going to have a 2-hour debate about what's a good cock. What the fuck am I on about tonight?
And this all comes to a head around laws that are being passed in legislatures across the world that pass bills called self-ID bills. These are bills that enact and enshrine in law that if somebody states that they are experiencing the spiritual essence of transness, then by law, everybody is obligated to treat them as the literal, factual, biological sex that they say that they are, rather than what they materially are. So I, right here, could look you in the eye and tell you that I am female, and legally, you would have no recourse whatsoever to state that you doubt whether I'm telling the truth, to state that you're skeptical about whether I'm really experiencing transness, whatever they need. You have no legal recourse whatsoever. I could do anything that a female does strictly on my say-so. Now, a rational person would say, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But again, we're dealing with this kind of new age spiritual interpretation of transness, where these kinds of questions of practicality are not allowed at all. So that's the problem with self-ID. Laws are coming out that are deeply irrational, that don't take into account very real, necessary questions about what it is that makes someone trans versus what it is that doesn't. The next big one is the treatment of children. All of a sudden, in the last 10, 15 years, we started declaring that there's such a thing as a trans kid. For the longest time, You know, transsexualism really started emerging in the middle of the last century as technology started making
No,
advances around surgeries and things like that, and slowly it evolved into
fucking hell.
transgenderism, and now it's really expanded into something that is
Right. First of
I've,
all,
I, yeah,
um,
yeah. You should go first because I'm going to fucking murder someone.
not all, right? Max can correct me, right?
Yeah.
So, not all trans people, specifically, I say trans women. I
Yeah.
haven't really heard any trans men say this, but specifically trans women, not all trans women say they are transsexuals. Some will say they are trans. Some may say they are
Uh,
transsexuals,
yeah.
right? And you say
Yeah.
there's
I
no
don't.
such thing. Yeah, and you say there's no such thing as trans kids. Well, where do you think trans adults come from? You fucking
Yeah.
moron.
Hi. I was a trans kid.
Yeah,
And that's what
trans
fucks me up.
children exist.
Yeah. And like, do you know why, you fucking idiot, Arty? Do you know why they didn't exist like way back when? Because nobody let them speak. Because like, I I've said this before, but like, it's literally my second memory in life, knowing that I am a girl. That's the second thing that I can remember out of my life. Um, I think I'm about three. I know that I'm about three in my first memory, which is like it's me biting my tongue off. Like my first memory, it's blood filling my mouth and me drowning in my own blood. That's the first thing that I can remember out of life, which explains quite a lot, actually. But like, do you, and nobody questions that memory, but they keep questioning like the whole. Oh, but you were just confused, or you didn't know back then, or you just thought you were a girl and then you ended up trans. Like, yeah, that's fucking convenient, isn't it? And even if so, like I was a trans child. I've been trans for all my fucking life, you muppets. And like, but I can sit here and I can say this. I can say this repeatedly, and I can say this 1,000 fucking times, and it's still not going to say that. And they're still going to say that I'm not a trans child, or they're going to say that I was groomed, even though nobody even told me what the fuck trans was until I was 13. I knew for 10 years without knowing trans was a concept.
Exactly, and it's like,
Sorry for rushing through that one.
no, it's all right. Um,
It's
it irks me, and it irks me in a way that it kind of infuriates me because, listen, I don't give a flying. I do not give a flying fuck if you believe me. I don't give a fuck if you believe trans women are trans women. I don't really care. Because I
no,
don't spend my every waking minute on fucking Twitter arguing with complete strangers. So I don't really care, right?
no, like,
You're entitled. I think I said this last time, or one of us did. Um,
yeah,
you're entitled to your beliefs. You're entitled to your free speech, right? But you are not
yeah,
free from consequences,
yeah, like
right?
I can call you like a massive fucking shithead if your beliefs make you a massive fucking shithead.
Exactly.
Um, oh, who decides that? Me, I do. I'm the one who does. I'm the one who has moral imperative in my fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about anyone else's morals or ethical guidelines. I follow my own, and in my own, they're shitheads. So I treat them accordingly. I don't know why
Yeah.
this is such a fucking hard concept for people to grasp.
And it's people like Arty who excuse me, has already made it very clear that he is very controversial because he either says it in his bio on Twitter before he blocked me, of course, or
Yeah.
he says it in his YouTube on his YouTube thing. I'm very controversial. So there
This
it
is says it's
lies.
controversial.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking
Um,
cunt.
right. So he shot himself in the foot. Like on a previous episode of the mess we're in, he was crying about not being able to go work. Are you surprised? But this is the type of people that we are dealing with. right? And again, like I
Yeah.
say, you can believe what the fuck you want, but when your beliefs are literally endangering lives, that are genuinely endangering lives,
Yeah.
you don't have the right to spew your bullshit.
And like, even if you do, like you're. It's like there's something that goes like wrong in their brain when they think about it, and I don't understand what. I don't understand how. Like, because most of the time it's absolutely not that it will get criminal. It's just that they're not protected by like some free speech ID. Like, f- uh, because it's like what they do is mostly targeted harassment anyway. And yeah, I'm not going to fucking feel bad about you not being able to targetedly harass some fucking minorities, you fucking cunt. And like we already have a bunch of like hindrances to free speech. Like, for example, you're not allowed to threaten anyone, which a lot of these fucking people do because they're awful people. They're like the worst kind of people. You know that dried corn? You know the dried thing in like the corner of your mouth when you need. This is from a film. I can't remember which one it is, but like you know that like really thick saliva in the corner of your mouth when you need to like when you're really thirsty.
Yeah,
That's these people.
yeah. Right.
They're just an annoyance. That's like they're an annoyance in people's lives.
Absolutely.
And you're not allowed to call yourself controversial. Other people must decide that for you. I've been decided to be
Exactly.
controversial according to some people. I know there are people who agree with me, like they for a fact agree with me, but they think I'm so vitriolic and I'm so much of a bad person that they refuse me on that basis. I know that
Yeah,
because they have fucking told me so, and I get
but
that.
then, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like that.
he's he's lost friends over this, which again I'm not surprised. Same things
Oh,
happened to Graham Linehan. But
yeah.
anyway, let's continue with the crown.
Being taken so literally that we're acting as though we can identify transness in children and even babies sometimes. And a
Who,
scientific,
where, names.
rational person might look at the diagnosis of transness in children and wonder, where's the evidence behind this? They might assume, a lot of outsiders assume, well, there must be evidence. There are doctors who are doing this, who are diagnosing children as trans. Doctors are generally smart, good intentioned people. Obviously, there must be something to this. There must be some evidence base that says that some kids are trans or have some essence of transness somehow. That's what a rational thinking person would say. Now, the New Age spiritualists wouldn't even do that. They would just, if somebody declares that a kid is trans, again, this activates that sort of spiritual sense. Well, that person must be a trans person and they must be protected and they're so, so special. But let's go back to the scientific minded person, the rational minded person who has good intentions, who thinks there must be something behind all these diagnoses of transness in infants and young people and young adolescents and teens and young adults. Well, they probably assume that there is an evidence base behind all of this. You know what? There isn't. There is no evidence behind this. There used to be, in the clinical environment around treating young people who experience gender dysphoria. This is the scientific term for young people, or for people in general, who experience distress around the sex of their bodies. It's called gender dysphoria. And there are many treatments for it, psychotherapy, and as a last resort and extreme treatment, is modifications to one's body to alleviate gender dysphoria. This is genital reconstruction surgeries, cross-sex synthetic hormones, artificial breasts, that kind of thing. This stuff is, according to the scientific mind, these are medical treatments to alleviate the medical psychological.
Like, we can agree that he's like really fucking weird about like children, right? It's not just. It's not.
This
just
is always.
me.
This is all. No, this is always their fucking go-to.
Yeah.
Children.
Yeah, and it's shit.
I don't
It's
see.
shit. Fuck.
Arty, I know you're thick. I know you try and claim to be intelligent, articulate. You're just a babbling fucking buffoon, right? Who doesn't know what you're talking about, right?
What if? And what if? What if? Like, what if they are? Like, what if? Okay, I'm going to get genuinely now. Let's say that 100% I was going to be sterilized if I did that shit. Like, I was never going to have children. Now I'm never going to have children anyway. Because it's always like fucking the fertility. Why are you so bothered about fucking fertility? Isn't that weird? Like, do you not understand how weird that is, right?
A trans, right? He brings up like artificial breasts. I'm like, so you don't have a problem with cis women having gender affirming care, having to have a breast enlargement or a breast reduction.
Like,
you're not
artificial breast?
Yeah.
But like most trans women have like just the tits they get from hormones, and like me, I have these fucking things that I put in.
Yeah, it's like Sasa White, the automaton robot that just stays in one position. She said something similar, like when she was on the messaging, saying,
"Oh yeah, that fucking cunt." I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, these bolt on tits. I'm like, first of all, they're not bolted on. They already have.
That sounds like fucking.
But let me get back to his New Age spiritualism. First of all, spiritualism isn't New Age, you fucking dinosaur. Spiritualism has existed for thousands and thousands of years. Right, so it's not New Age. It may be New Age in terms of the year in our history, but it's not New Age. It's more of a Western. It's more of a Westernized culture. Right, so it's not New Age, you utter moron. Right, as I've said, I'm spiritual, right? But I'm not spiritual to the fucking point unless you're high on fucking drugs and you're away with the fucking fairies, right? Dumb enough to conflate science and spiritualism. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's like a huge difference there. And like for example, I am very deeply not religious, but in the same time, I am also very deeply religious. I have a very, very, very weird view of religion. In that I kind of made myself into a god, and I kind of do believe it, but in the same time, I know that it's bullshit, but it works for me. Like, it's you fucking muppets, and like that's very much not the same way that I feel about like my gender. Like, if I could, do you know how much I would give? Like, I don't fit as like a trans anything. I wish I could be a genderless fucking being. I wish I could be fucking non-binary. I tried to be fucking non-binary. I never succeeded. Because like that sounds more my speed, like the kind of gender fuckery. I wish I could do that shit. I can't. But when it comes to like my actual beliefs, I can be as fucking weird as I want to, because then it's entertainment.
Yeah,
Like,
and
this difference is night and day.
yeah, and to go back to what you said about um trans kids not existing according to him. Okay then,
Oh,
Arty. How did you know, right? How did you know that you were gay?
yeah.
How does anyone know that they are gay? They don't know
Yeah,
that
but it's
when they
not like
they don't
me
you
be.
don't come out.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't come out of the room like I'll reference like again. I'll reference, Stewie from Family Guy.
oh,
You know, you don't come out of the room and you suddenly announce to the world, "Oh, I'm gay," when you're
hmm.
like 0.1 second year old. Don't be fucking stupid. No one knows they're gay, straight, right? Let's remember, right? You're
What?
not born with a dick, right? You're born a boy and a girl. That's it.
Yeah,
No one knows
yeah,
they're gay until they realize it, or they haven't quite figured it out yet. It's the same with
yeah.
trans people. They
I
they know that.
genuinely didn't know I was like. I was like, I knew, like I said, yeah, knew.
Yeah,
I knew when I was like very young that I was a girl. It took me a long, long time to know that I was also into cock.
yeah,
Like that took me further, way longer, and like being also into like not only cock but also men. That took me. Jesus fucking Christ! What did I do? What have I done? No, fuck me. Sorry. Fucking hell. I'm trying some things out. And this was the best image I could find. This is moving. But like I knew like I'm still not sure what kind of thing I go for when it comes to sexually. Like I know what I like, but I like do I like men? Do I like women? Do I like everything or nothing? I don't fucking know. I like to put my cock into something and I like to have cock put into me.
yeah, exactly. It's
Like
like
I'm a fucking massive whore, but I know exactly what I am. It's like
exactly.
gender
So
comes more innate
yeah,
to me.
and it's like it's people like Arty who,
Yeah.
for all of his pontificating, for all of his attempt at articulacy, being intelligent, um, he doesn't seem to grasp that sex and gender are completely different.
Oh
I've
no, he
I've
really
lit-
doesn't.
I've literally heard him say that they are one and the same. They're not.
Yeah,
They
like
are not one and the same. If they were one and the same, right, which they're
mm,
not, then I still question you. I still question your beliefs, right? But they're not one and the same.
yeah.
It's the same with the
It's
people who constantly, and at this point, I just have to bite my tongue and just leave them to it because otherwise I'll spend like fucking half an hour to an hour fucking arguing
yeah.
with them and I can't be asked, right? Sex is bimodal. If sex was binary, there would only be two sexes, male and female. But there isn't. There's intersex people.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
Right?
even if there were, who cares? Who cares? Like
Exactly.
what
I don't give a fuck what sex you are. I
yeah,
don't
like
give a fuck what gender you are. I
yeah.
really don't. That doesn't concern me.
Oh, I'm never going to see you as a woman. Then fucking don't. Just like I'm never going to see you as a human being who's respect. I'm never going to
As
see
long
you
as
as a human being
yeah,
who I respect. Like I don't fucking care. Like I'm
as
saying
long
what
as
I'm saying my truth.
yeah, as long as you're not a fucking shitbag and
Yeah.
you're not an awful human who has done
Ah.
despicable things, then then I don't have a problem. But if you did, then we'd have a massive problem because you don't do
Because
shit.
that's
like
my kind of shit that I do.
that. Yeah. But
No,
as long as
but,
you're not, you know,
yeah, I'm
but
not.
yeah.
I'm also like I'm fairly calm and nice and not completely fucking batshit. Bonkers. Uh, I I just like um. Who cares what sex you are?
Exactly. No, like I said,
Like,
as I said, as long as you're not hurting anyone,
yeah.
then who
But
gives a
yeah,
fuck?
I don't know my. I'm going to like if I ever do get my fucking chromosome checked, you better believe that we're going to have a follow up on that one. Because I've been thinking like I do have like a hormone. Um, I have a testosterone deficiency from the get go. I have like a estrogen efficiency. I was about to say, but like F, overflow estrogen as it comes. That's why I still like I. That's why I look as much of like a fucking girl as I do. Which I do. Like I know, like in motion, it's harder to see, but like on a picture, mwah, I am fucking my own transformation goals, transition goals. That's what it's called, not transformation. And we're not fucking transformers. I'm actually a car in disguise. And yeah, I just did that joke. I just did that joke, and I just did that joke in a funny way. I managed to do it, motherfucker. And now I have that fucking song stuck in my head.
Logical condition of gender dysphoria. And this was only ever applied to young people through a sort of patient model called watchful waiting. This was where if a child presented in a clinic as being deeply distressed about the sex of their body, a little boy, say, who just really didn't like being a boy, was adamant that he was really a girl, seemed to associate more with girls than boys. The clinicians would assume that this was just a natural phase that that little boy was going through, but we would keep
Yeah,
an
and that's
eye on the
fucked.
boy to make sure that his mental health stayed in check, to make sure that he was doing okay. Because it's very, very, according to the scientific, rational worldview, it has been very common for decades to observe that some little boys are naturally very feminine right from early childhood. They
Can you
tend
pause it?
to become
Because I
distressed
need to
about the
like I
fact
need to
that they're
fucking murder
boys.
this bitch. Okay, so here's the thing. First and foremost, I'm actually not that like yeah, I'm effeminate in certain ways, but I'm very much not effeminate in others. Like so that take that whole bullshit and shove that up your ass. And like if a boy earlier, if a boy came to like a doctor and said, "Oh, I feel more like a girl," yeah, of course they're not going to believe that they were trans because they believe there were no trans children, and they'll, oh, well, it's probably just a phase. How many fucking things have that been said about, and how many fucking things have that not been true about? It's a fucking phase. My drug use was said to be a fucking phase. Now it's a personality trait. My fucking sexual deviance was said to be a phase. My fucking every single part of me has been said to be a phase. My style has been said to be a phase. Um, but they're not. And even if they are, even if they fucking are, what do? Do you go up to do you go up to a goth kid and say, "This is just a phase, so this isn't you"? Even if it's a phase, that's still that little boy or girl. Like you're fucking over children, and I don't understand how you can be so fucking cavalier about it. You worthless sack of shit. Like you and And the reason that they said, let's keep an eye on it, was to make sure that they weren't going to become a fucking tranny. Because that's like the worst thing you can be, according to them.
And you know, I'm gonna lightly touch on what you said regarding gender dysphoria and mental health.
Yeah.
Do you want to know? Arty, one of the biggest damaging aspect of mental health that affect kids with gender dysphoria is because they are not being given the treatment access to treatment and the treatment that they need, right? So one would might think, as you keep saying in a rational way, that if a kid comes to you who is clearly a trans child because they exist, so you fucking wake up, oldie. One would might think, if you're a reliable therapist and you're not batshit crazy like James S is or other people like him,
Oh,
you
fucking
would
needs to be
think that,
curbstomped.
right, I've seen it, I've looked at his history, and they clearly need treatment.
Yeah.
One would think, right, the best thing for this child would be to have access to the treatment he needs. The treatment being medication, right, to relieve their dysphoria. That's
Yeah.
the first thing,
And
right?
like,
The surgery aspect, as I've said, and probably Max has said previously, that doesn't happen until they're 18, or in some states could be even older. Again, I'm only specifically talking about within the UK. I don't know about everywhere else, but
oh
in the
yeah,
UK,
Sweden,
18.
Sweden as well.
So,
And like,
so again, Arty, like you're just chatting shit.
and like, I would just actually like to anyone listening who believes that this fucking scumbag has any validity to this point. I would just like to ask a question. How do you know who you are? How do you know that you are a man or a woman? How do you know that you are the age that you are? How do you know that you are whatever? Like, you just know. And if someone were to tell you that you aren't, that would cause you intense distress. That's what fucking dysphoria is. Like, it's, and that's why I won't actually be seeking assistance through the trans healthcare because I think I would actually end my life if I did. Because I am so done with having like one of the worst things that I can do is have to defend myself as a being. That's that sucks to me. It's hard because I know who I am. I know myself intensely. And yeah, do I know what it is to be a woman? No, but I know what it is to be me, and I know what I identify most with. Like nobody knows what it's like to be anyone else. Artie doesn't know what it's like to be a man. He knows what it's like to be a man called Artie. Like you don't know what it's like to be, you know what it's like to be you. I know what it's like to be me, and me happen to identify more with these things. And the fact that, like, the fact that this sort of fucking semantic bullshit can stand in the way of people living lives. And I'm not saying living happy life. I'm saying living lives at all because they
Yeah,
fucking kill themselves. Like that's fucking rotten, and like there's something wrong with a system that does that.
yeah, absolutely. And if you want to understand, and if you want to know what the biggest reason for trans youth committing suicide or unaliving themselves,
Yeah,
as I should say, is for that very reason that I said previously, because they're not getting the treatment they need. They're not getting access to vital medication, the vital drugs, if you want to say,
yeah.
to save themselves, to save their life. Is that what you want, Artie? Is that what you're striving for? You want all trans children to live as their assigned sex at birth until what? They're 25. The majority of them won't make it to 25.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that?
I was lucky.
No, you haven't.
I keep thinking about that. I was so fucking lucky that I am like I thought I looked good and I thought I had style. Like I'm so fucking lucky that I could manage as far as I did, and it almost fucking killed me. Like, and that's me, and I like, yeah, this isn't fucking. But yeah, he absolutely wants them to die, and until he proves otherwise, I'm going to fucking assume that because like that's what they result. That's what this shit results in. Children dying. So good job, you fucking scumbag.
They tend to latch onto girl toys, and they tend to sort of start to think that maybe they really are girls instead of boys because they see that they have more in common with little girls than with little boys. But now these children almost invariably grow up, these little boys, and also vice versa for little girls who think they're boys. They tend to grow up to become homosexual. They get over their distress about thinking they're the opposite sex. They end up just gay. And they move on. So as these kids are experiencing this distress, we try to comfort them and we try to treat them okay, but we under the assumption that they're probably going to get over their distress about what sex they are and figure out, and it's possible, it's likely that they'll figure out that they're gay, and then they'll just grow up into happy, healthy, gender non-conforming homosexuals. And that was the watchful waiting model. And a small number of these very, very feminine gay guys or very, very masculine butch lesbians would grow up and be gay and lesbian, but also be so distressed about their gender nonconformity that they might choose to undergo sex changes and to adopt a trans identity to help them alleviate their distress. This is all very clinical, it's all very science-based, and it's all very empathetic and sympathetic. There's nothing anti-trans about this entire model.
Yes, there is.
Okay, you're distressed about what sex you are. Let's try to keep you calm and help to comfort you. Let's assume that you're very likely to get over that and that it's just a phase. And if after a prolonged period of time you never get over it, then let's look at possibly trying to comfort you by giving you physical sex change characteristics, but never assuming that you're literally the wrong sex. Okay.
Arty,
so
you're not allowed to live as gay until you prove you're gay.
Worldview around.
You're not fucking allowed to. I'm going to take that from you. You are not gay. You have to prove to me that you are gay. Now do it. Prove to me that you are gay, and I will never believe you. Good luck. You worthless fucking cunt. I'm making us really hard to monetize out here. We're fucking
I'm
like
not like. Listen, I don't think. I don't think you would. I'm not really interested in that part in being monetized. I mean,
no, I'm joking.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just. I mean, you know, my soul was leaving my fucking body last week, listening to And it's like,
yeah, I was so fucking angry at the end. Like it was so good we did last bit.
And you know, the same isn't happening with him. I'm just
no, I'm not angry now. I'm just like he's worthless.
I'm just apoplectic at how fucking stupid he is.
Yeah,
he is.
and like
for almost 12 minutes of a 21-minute video.
Yeah,
he hasn't made sense, not one bit. He has just gone on a massive tirade of nonsensical talking points, trying to link science versus spiritualism, pro-trans, not pro-trans versus anti-trans. This is people that when he says it's not anti-trans, yeah, it's like the same person who says, "Oh, I'm not a racist," but and they follow on spewing racist bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a racist, but it's like, shut the fuck up.
Okay, but if you're not a racist, but you like what you do still like ends up in race as racism, I don't give a fuck about what you are like as a person.
Yeah.
It's intentions that matters. Like, get that through your fucking skull. Who cares about what you are or are not? Like actions matter. Oh, but
Yeah.
you say you are, and we're supposed to care about that. No, I've never asked anyone to care about it. I've asked people to not like cause people to commit suicide because like you don't like you don't even agree they're a fucking person. Like you non-human them, you unhuman them. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Gender dysphoria, particularly young people and children who have gender dysphoria. Now we have something new, the spiritual worldview, the spiritual essence of transness worldview. This is called the affirmation model, and it has literally taken over the clinical environment. Under the affirmation model, the second a child experiences any distress around what sex they are, the second a child declares that they think the second a boy declares he thinks he's really a girl, or a girl declares she's really a boy, this is a sign that they have that magical spiritual aura of transness. And if anyone dares to try to interfere with this magical, beautiful trans soul, then they're a horrible bigot who is trying to inflict conversion therapy on this magical child who's just such a wonderful example of the wonderful world of LGBTQ, LMNOP, This is a very sort of irrational, new agey, it's sort of emotive but not rational way of thinking,
No.
and it has completely taken over the clinical model of how to
Oh,
treat
why are you
young
so
people
bothered
who are
about it?
experiencing confusion around gender and sex. And it really came to a head specifically with one of the world's leading clinicians of young people with gender dysphoria. This is a man named Ken Zucker, and he ran a clinic for young people with gender dysphoria right here in Toronto, where I am. And he pursued the watchful waiting model. The assumption with these distressed kids that came to his clinic was that they were going through a phase of confusion, and it may likely have been a result of their confusion around being just naturally gender nonconforming and probably gay. And he would treat these people as such. And then if their distress persisted, he would help them undergo physical characteristic changes so that they could superficially live under the role of the opposite sex and become trans people, blah, 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 blah. But these new spiritualists came to town and decided that the watchful waiting model was bigoted and transphobic because it wasn't asserting that any child who ever says that they're really trans is really trans. So what they did is they launched a smear campaign against Ken Zucker and eventually got him fired. His clinic was shut down by the hospital network that it was run under, and replaced by a new clinic, essentially, that was operating under this new affirmation model. This new, every single kid who says they're trans is really trans, and they have a magic spiritual soul of the opposite sex. This new model came
Nobody's
to
saying
town.
that.
Well, the whole thing was bullshit. The evidence that was used to get Ken Zucker's clinic shut down was completely trumped up nonsense. There was somebody who testified that Ken Zucker had called him something like a dirty little vermin or something like that, that he had been this evil, monstrous person who was just so mean to these poor, precious trans clients of his. Of course, it was all nonsense. Eventually, a journalist spoke to this person who testified that Ken Zucker had treated him horribly. And it turns out that that person couldn't even identify what Ken Zucker looked like in a photograph. This was just a completely made up, invented, fabricated story by the spiritualists who just, kind of seem to be farther and farther out of touch with reality every day. So there's this real problem going on with the treatment of young people right now. There's a war between the science and rational-based clinicians who believe in watchful waiting and who believe in treating this phenomenon of gender dysphoria and transgender with deep care and empathy, but with a scientific and rational lens, with the goal of the best outcomes for the clients, always first and foremost in mind. And this new guard of spiritualists and pseudo-religionists and sort of this new age culty kind of phenomenon where they don't actually seem interested in the outcomes of their patients. They just want to affirm all these kids as trans, give them all this sex change surgery and hormones and medicine, the more experimental, the better, and the more extreme, the better, and the younger these kids, the better.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to. I have like
Arty.
this is thing that it's good for a point here. Yeah, you could go on.
Yeah. Arty is trying to make out that you just go to your doctors. You turn up to your doctor's appointment, and it's like it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Right.
Yeah.
What's the name? What is your history, or whatever? And it's like, oh right, here you go. Here's your hormones. There you go. It's that simple. No, it's not. It's not as simple
Yeah.
as he's making it out to be. And again,
No, fucking.
what you see with him and New Age spiritualism, as I've said, spiritualism is a New Age. It may be New Age in terms of, again, the year regarding in our history when spiritualism came over to our nation, because again, it was spiritualism was more of a Eastern worldview. It wasn't westernized until thousands of years ago, right? So again, he's conflating science and spiritualism.
Yeah, and it's so fucking dumb. I just figured out how to get my point across about this because he has this obsession with that it's especially effeminate men, and I am not. Like as a man, I wasn't an especially effeminate man. I was still like he's such a vile person.
Well, it'll make my I'll send you after we've done. I'll send you the thumbnail I made, and it'll make it
Yeah.
it'll make
I'm actually I can present something right because I have a short thing that I want you to watch later because it's about this point.
yeah.
Like there's a present, but yeah, I'm probably going to do that later because it will be fun. Trust me. At least for me.
Yeah.
I just
yeah,
had to
it's like
that was what I was clicking because I was like I've gotten kind of obsessed with this idea that he has that like we're supposed to be like that it's about some stereotype. And like yeah, I know I'm an effeminate person, but I'm not super effeminate. Like I have my deep voice. I have a very aggressive way of being. I just look like a tart while doing these things. Like, you're going to get to see me at 13 years old, and I wanted you to know if that's an especially effeminate boy later.
yeah, it's like
I was a fucking cunt, though.
like it's like you said it yourself. Like who gives a flying fuck?
Yeah, but it's this obsession,
Right?
like because you're the people who are doing it, like the Arty and stuff. Like you're the people who see these gender non-conforming men or boys, and you say, "Oh, you're trans," and they say, "No, I'm not transvestite," and you say, "No, you're not. You're trans, and stop being trans because trans isn't real. You're a gender non-conforming person." Like, yeah, I know. I was. That was what I was saying. Like
Does he
weird.
think that trans people are kind of like the fucking archangels with the fucking halo around their heads? Oh, I'm all of a sudden trans now because I fucking pray or whatever. It's like that's not how it works, Arty. If that's how you think being trans is, then you're gonna get a rude awakening.
Get fucking help.
Like, it's like again, how did you know you were gay? How does someone know they're straight?
Exactly. Like I had.
How does someone know that they are intersex? How does someone know that they're lesbian? No one fucking knows. It's a personal journey.
And that's just a way harder question for me to answer than like how do I know I'm trans? Like, I don't know. I've known since I was fucking 3. Like,
But
it's innate to my fucking being.
it's like, you know, just because I have a certain thing in between my
Yeah.
legs, that doesn't mean that I'm a man.
Yeah,
Right?
and like it's fucking
Doesn't
obsessive.
It's like a woman who has a vagina.
Yeah.
Her genitalia doesn't make her a woman. A
No.
penis doesn't make a man a man.
No, I've never considered my cock like neither. Like I genuinely never considered it neither
And
female or male.
yeah,
I've always
and
considered
if
it
you
a
yeah,
tool.
and if you really think breasts, a vagina, or a penis makes a man or a woman, then you need a wake up call. Because I don't look at a woman and think, oh, no, she's a woman because of vagina and a pair of breasts. No, I don't, because I'm not a fucking moron.
And a creep, by the way. Like, if
Yeah,
that's your first go-to when you're looking at, and it is these people's first go-to, which is really fucking creepy. And it's
yeah.
really creepy how
Who
quickly
are
they
they?
are to like
Yeah,
talk about the genitals of strangers.
exactly. It's like, who are they as a person?
Yeah.
Who are
Like,
they as a human being?
could you stop being weird for like 5 fucking seconds? Like, it's not.
Yeah, yeah. They come at people like me and you,
Yeah.
right? Saying, oh,
Yeah.
calling us, falsely accusing us of being such and such, and it's like, hang on a minute,
Yeah.
you've got your wires crossed. We don't do anything of that. We don't do any of that.
Yeah, like I'm a fucking weirdo and like a pervert and stuff, but I do that to me and like the people that I care about, and like to consenting people. And I've seen people literally say like, "Oh, but you talk about it on your timeline, you talk about it on your podcast," and like, yeah, and I do actually consider it like if you jump onto a podcast where I'm host, I do kind of consider it you consent to listening me talk.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
listen, to anyone who like to anyone who says that to either Max or me, I mean, I never had that said to me, well, not yet. I'm
I
holding out
haven't.
hope. Um,
I was called a predator because I said it's really weird to send porn to people, and then someone like quote tweeted that thing that I said like I'm going to upload a porno, and like yeah, on my fucking timeline I'm not going to send it to people, you fucking weirdo. And then it's like, oh, you talk about these kind of stuff and like yeah. So it hasn't happened often, but that day it happened a lot.
yeah, right. To those people who seem to live under a rock, and bear with me, and we'll get to the rest of the fucking clown show. But to those people who live under a rock who don't seem to understand how a podcast works, right? And you know, there are podcasts where there's only one host, and I will try. But when you have a podcast like this, where there are two hosts, right? That's what happens. It's a conversation. Right? We
Yeah.
talk. Right? We pause. We have a talk that can last maybe 10 minutes to maybe 20 minutes, however long we get back. That's how it works. That's how a podcast works. And if you don't like that, then guess what you can do? You can fuck off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're just two people having a conversation. You know, we do this on a weekly basis. You know, we sometimes have a mini catch up in the beginning, or sometimes like tonight we just jump straight into it. Right,
Yeah.
that's how we work. If you don't like that, then go listen to something else. Right, there's more than one podcast out there. There's millions of them. If we're not your cup of tea, that's fine. Just move along.
I
Move
do
along.
understand it.
You know, carry on with your day.
Yeah,
But don't
yeah.
but don't reach out to me or Max and start complaining about the stuff we talk about.
Well, like if you're going to
Because
complain about something fun at least. Like
yeah,
be a funnier person.
these things that we talk about or discuss, however hard it may be, and we may not want to talk about it, but we have to because we care about these issues. The guests we have on,
Yeah,
we genuinely want them on because we want to hear their story.
yeah. And
We
it's
don't
been
bring
real
them
funny
on.
to have.
Yeah, we don't bring them on to highlight their story and just toss them aside. No, because we genuinely care. If you don't like that, fuck off. That's all I'm
So
going to
this
say.
is bloke me. This is bloke me right behind me. Not the 12-year-old. We're getting to that later. I'm going to keep this for the rest of the show. I look fucking stunning right there, but I don't look effeminate. I know I have nail polish, but that's not an effeminate man. I'm just saying, like, there are trans people who weren't effeminate men, you fucking idiot, Arty.
Yeah,
Took me
and
such a while
also,
to find that fucking photo.
yeah, and also another thing on makeup, which I don't think a lot of
Uh,
people really understand. Makeup isn't a gendered thing,
oh no, absolutely
right?
not.
Cis men, many cis men have been wearing makeup for years.
Yeah, it's like it's magic
They,
goo that you put on your face to look better.
yeah, yeah, many cis men primarily may wear a little bit of foundation.
Yeah,
Some
eyeliner
cis,
was my thing.
yeah. So let's not get it twisted. Like makeup isn't just for women. Yes, it's primarily bought by women, but cis
Yeah,
men also wear makeup as well.
yeah.
If you ever look at a news host on a news show, best believe that he has a little bit of foundation on
Yeah,
because
I
that's
kind of
what they
love.
do in the makeup.
I
They
kind of.
have a little bit of foundation on, have a little bit of a touch up before they go on. So
I
I
kind of
just
love
want to
having
put
this like before and after picture going here. I'm so happy I don't get like weird about I'm so happy I don't feel pain about who I used to be so that I can actually do shit like this.
yeah, that's considered growth because not a lot of trans people can actually look at themselves because for them it may bring back some
Yeah,
certain
and like it
memories
does.
that they don't want to
Yeah.
bring up.
Oh, I looked so like there was a part of me that was kind of like sad when I finally came up because like I have finally learned how to rock this fucking style, and now I'm going to have to learn a new one. But I did so happily because otherwise it would have been dead. But like at some point we're going to talk about like we're going to have to talk about like all the weird bullshit about being just like getting that like weird disappointment where it's just like, oh fuck, couldn't I have just been a cool transvestite? Like that thought and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm going to need to go through it because it's a ride being uh, a tranny, so to speak.
right. 15. So we've got about 5 and a bit minutes left.
Yeah,
So thank fuck for that.
And then they send them out the door and assume that they've just, they've created another magical trans person, and they don't look at the outcomes. They don't want to hear whether these kids are doing well or not, whether they're adjusting well in their new transgender life,
no, you're the
whether
ones
the
who don't want to.
surgeries that they were prescribed turned out well or not. They don't want to hear any of it. And there isn't any follow-up work being done. This new affirmation model that has taken over the clinical environment around young people, no one is looking into whether it's producing better outcomes for these kids. And the reason no one's looking into that is because that by nature is a scientific endeavor to follow up and look for evidence for whether your beliefs and your treatment system works or not. That's just not how spiritual minds work. That's how scientific minds work. So they're deeply hostile to any kind of evaluation on a scientific basis of their own treatment model. So if you're watching this right now and you are a parent of a confused young person looking to navigate this terrain and looking to figure out how to negotiate with the
Where is he
clinicians
going
that
with
you're going
this?
to be interacting with to help your child and to guide your child through their gender dysphoria. Or if you're perhaps a journalist or just a curious person who wants to look into this further, I propose a really good way for you to figure out every time you go to speak to an expert, somebody who declares themselves an expert in gender dysphoria and transgender. The first thing you need to do is figure out whether they are a science-minded, critical thinking person who is looking at transgender from a scientific lens, or whether they're a spiritualist and a sort of new age religionist who treats transgender like it's this spiritual essence. And there's one question that you can ask anyone who purports to be an expert, so that you can determine whether they're a scientific expert or a religious expert in transgender. And it's this: ask them to define biological sex. Now, you and I know, I'm going to assume you, the viewer, have enough of a scientific mind that you know that biological sex is the same in humans as it is in every other mammal, because you believe in evolution like any sane person does. And you understand that humans are mammals like every other mammal, and we come in two sexes. Biological sex has males and females. And yes, there's a small number of people who were born with sort of birth defects, and that can get a little complicated, but that's completely irrelevant to this phenomenon. So we'll ignore it, set that aside for now. By and large, there are males and females.
Oh, set those people aside from now.
Did he say? Yes, of course, there are people who are born with birth.
Yeah.
What? Why did you say? What was the need to say that?
Intersex people are defective, according to these fucking people.
You fucking dickhead.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Again,
No, they're like... and like even one variation, even if it was a fucking like... Even if it was a defect, which is not. Even one would make it not binary, you fucking idiot. A binary code is only zeros and ones.
Yeah, it's like
make it binary.
Just so do this. Right, let me
yeah, no worries.
Do that. Well, let me bring this up. So share screen. Right, so just a brief explanation, just a brief thing. Right, so if anyone wondering, this is right. So bimodal means the presence of two statistical modes, which can be seen as peaks in a graph. With regard to human sex, this means that for some sex characteristics, there may be common norms among people whom we tend to assign as male and female. People's sex is spread out according to what statisticians call a bimodal distribution, which is a double bell curve.
Yeah.
And for anyone watching this, you can go to actually I'll click on it so you can
Oh, Jesus Christ.
so let me stop sharing that. Present share screen, yes.
Yeah, it's like, but this fucking, fucking worthless pieces of shit. I'm in sixth grade.
So if we look at this graph here,
Yeah.
at the top it says bimodal gender. Women, men, other genders exist. We have what's called a gender spectrum.
Yeah.
If I go the gender spectrum is an understanding that gender is not binary, but rather a spectrum of biological, mental, and emotional traits that exist along a continuum.
Yeah.
In contrast, the gender binary, also called gender binarism or genderism, is a belief that gender is composed of two distinct and opposite genders, women, men, in which there is not overlap. Unfortunately, for those who believe in a gender binary, it is not scientifically or medically correct. Gender can't be binary because it is a personal identity and is socially constructed. Sex refers to one's biological characteristics, also exists as a spectrum because intersex people exist. A person's sex can be female, male, or intersex, which can present as an infinite number of biological combinations. Today, numerous scientific fields, including biology, endocrinology, physiology, genetics, neuroscience, and reproductive science, have confirmed that both sex and gender exist as a spectrum. This is true for humans and across the animal kingdom. So when fuckface Arty says sex is binary and it's a biological fact, no, it's not. And by all means, if you watch this, do go to that website I pulled up because you will and read it in full yourself. Because we are running on time, so I'm going to pull back up the video and we're going to watch the remaining what's left, probably a good 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Good, like 4 minutes left. So we'll probably pause again at some point.
Oh, fuck it, we'll do with this background. I'm okay with that.
You can identify whether someone is male or female in utero with an ultrasound long before they're even born. This is the rational scientific understanding of what biological sex is. So if you're going to talk to a clinician or anyone who purports to be an expert in transgender, ask them if they believe that biological sex is the same as every other mammal and that it comes in two sexes, male and female. These sexes cannot change and that they are observable in utero long before birth. If that person wavers or hesitates and uses language like, well, actually sex is assigned at birth. No, that's a spiritualist. That's somebody who is looking at the phenomenon of gender dysphoria and this strange obsession with people changing their sex through a kind of spiritual, politicized, new agey, pseudo-religious lens. The sentence sex assigned at birth is an instant flag that you're looking at somebody who's biased. If somebody's truly science-based, they will say sex observed at birth. They will understand that biological sex doesn't literally change and that hormones, puberty blockers, all these cosmetic surgeries, double mast.
Arty, I take it you haven't spoken to any medical person because they will tell you that sex is assigned at birth.
Yeah, they observe it earlier, actually.
Yeah.
Like they observe it when you're still in the womb. That's the whole point. It's assigned. It's like that's when it. Jesus fucking Christ, Ari. This isn't even about gender identity. This is about like just the concept of fucking linguistics, which is funny because I have something. No, you can't see. Which is funny because I have something planned on that one. The concept of linguistics, that is.
Yeah.
I implore you, dear fucking cunt.
Seriously, you know, if any of you bring dead zombified people who are too stupid to realize you're in a cult, don't understand that sex is assigned at birth. It is observed much earlier, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's observed at like a month before that, even probably.
If you don't know that, Arty, then how the fuck can you make any argument do you have valid?
Do you think there's a gestation period? You fucking idiot. Do you even know that people are pregnant for 9 months?
Then again, he's never been near a woman. I would assume, because if he did,
that's true.
but you know, not that I'm casting aspersions or saying
To all the gay people out there, I fucking hope he hasn't been around a man either.
Well, I think they'd run the other way.
Yeah.
Or jump off a cliff.
Aren't gay people supposed to have style?
Apparently.
I'm sorry, I took that when I removed myself from the equation.
Apparently, well, you have more style than he does.
Oh yeah, I have a sick sense of style. I like a good one.
Yeah, but it's
I say in front of this background.
Yeah, but it's a style nonetheless, and you kill it every time.
Thank you.
Him. It's like,
like, oh, and I'm not saying you have to like go on dressed like me. I'm not just saying like fucking, don't be so boring if you're going to look so boring. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. My style is comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
And you're not a boring cunt.
Yeah.
Like you,
I can dress up and look smart, but sometimes I just want to look comfortable, and if that means wearing a pair of joggers, a t-shirt, and a jacket top, then that's my style. My style fluctuates depending on what I'm doing.
Oh fuck yeah! And I am just like I do everything turn everything into a fucking art project. That's why I do this shit.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Mastectomies, vaginoplasties, orchiectomies, etc., 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 that this is superficial treatment to help someone's psychiatric condition. This is really important. You journalists out there, when you're trying to learn, we're trying to get straight information about what's going on with the treatment of these young people, make sure that every single person you speak to tells you whether they're aligned with the scientific viewpoint on gender or whether they're aligned with the spiritual new age viewpoint, by getting them to tell you whether they believe biological sex is real or not right up front. I hope that at least some of you parents out there, especially,
Make sure
who are
they don't do
struggling
wrong
with
thing.
children with dysphoria, can use this information. If you take your child to a gender clinic, make sure you ask every single person who sees your child, endocrinologist, psychologist, psychotherapist, intake doctor, ask every single one of them what their opinion is on biological
So,
sex.
Arty, when you
Any of
say
them
use
gives you
this
some
information, you're actually
spiritual
saying use this
pseudoscience
information to
mumbo
abuse
jumbo
your
that's worse
child.
than creationism, that sex is
You just fucking say that's worse than creationism.
You know,
Yeah,
I
believing trans people are real are the same thing as believing, are like worse than believing that God created the world 6,000 years ago.
the argument, the very flat, nonsensical argument he's making here, I've heard numerous times, but from the religious contingent,
Yeah.
where they bring in their personal beliefs, right? Which that's your like if you have a personal connection with God, that's your journey, right? That's one thing. But they bring in their personal beliefs and they try and mix it with science and marry the
Yeah.
two. It will never work
It was really fun.
because
It
their
was like,
beliefs will always trump
yeah.
science, and that's what he's trying to do. He's mixing science versus spiritualism, and he's conflating that spiritualism somehow has more of a damaging effect than science.
Yeah. Also, like, he's a cunt. But like,
Yeah.
no, it's like, because here's what it, like, we're not the one who's like, who tries to like dictate what the fuck our doctors believe, you fucking idiot. Also,
Exactly.
it's funny. I'm glad this is one of those moments where I'm like, just thank fuck I live in Sweden, because we actually like wet nurse is what it's called, like the people who help with the delivery and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we fired one of those because she didn't want to perform abortions. I like like there was this hospital fired her, and she tried to sue them, and like the fucking court were just like, no, you should have been able to do your fucking job. Like don't get a job at an abortion clinic if you don't like doing abortions. And I kind of like love the fact that they just bitch slapped her down. Like, why the fuck did you get this job? You knew what it entailed. That's like me saying I can't teach my children, like teach my students grammar.
You know, I just have a feeling that we're gonna have more and more teachers like Kevin Nestor repeating the same thing. We're gonna have more and more nurses
Yeah,
like the one you've just like gave an example of.
yeah, and I'm going
But,
to
but at
abuse
the end,
every one of them.
yeah, but at the end of the day, right? They're just shooting themselves in the foot because it's like no one asked you to do what you did.
Well, you don't think it's a good idea to self-immolate your entire fucking career publicly?
Exactly.
Jesus fucking
But
Christ!
you know, I mean, you know, if I was related to Arty, which I think I'd be embarrassed if I was,
Fucking horror show.
I'd be like, I'd get in contact with him and I'd be like, Arty, I think you need to shut the fuck up. Maybe leave YouTube because you're not doing yourself any favours. In fact, you're actually harming your career as we speak because you don't have any.
Back when I was a child, I tried to sell my sister once. He would have been the one that I would have tried to sell. Like, nothing to fuck. I just didn't get what I just didn't want her. He was older than me though. Like it's one of those. I was like 6, so it's not a weird thing. It's a cute weird thing, not a disturbingly weird thing.
Yeah, I just think that Arty is trying to ride the coattails of Graham Linehan because the way he speaks about Glinner, I'm like, do you two want to get a room together?
Is it blind?
Like, do you two want to make out with each other or something?
Like Arty looks like a boring fucking Mr. Potato Head copy, but he can do better than Glinner. Fucking Glinner can do better than Glinner.
Yeah.
He's the ugliest motherfucker on planet Earth.
A fucking spade can do better than Glinner. Even a fucking pitchfork. Like, for fuck's sake.
Absolutely. By the way, this was the selfie that I took in the beginning. I kind of look cute on it. It's really fucking shiny. But I'm just, like, I get better. I get better at things. It looks like I'm staring at you in the fucking dark, though. Well, weird.
Yeah.
I did the weirdest joke to one of my kids, like one of my students today, which was because I actually brought it to because at the start of a class I took 4 pictures and then I put them down and said, write a story about this. So I brought a Polaroid. Like, what do you do with that one? And I was like, I take pictures of people while they sleep. I don't know why I couldn't stop myself. And then one of them was just like, oh, like if they sleep on the train and stuff, like, no. And then I just kept going. And I had to stop myself after a while and explain there was a joke, but it was weird. Just like, no. So for a short while, they might have had a sneaking suspicion that the Swedish teacher was actually fucking insane. They do that anyway. Like, yeah. I once turned every single piece of furniture upside down in the classroom because I was bored. And like the students just came in and they just looked at it and like, and then it went and like stood in their spots. And just waited for like, okay, what's this bullshit now?
Yeah, we had I can't remember her name, but we had a teacher that was a bit like that. She was a bit eccentric, so she would do something similar to that. And we would walk into the classroom, and I'd be like, I would look, then I would look at her, and I'd be like, I just shrug my shoulders, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they get used to it. And it's funny because then at least like you know that they can handle it, and that makes you be able to be really fucking creative with them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there were other kids in the classroom who weren't quite as, you know, as chill as I was, but you know that's gonna happen. But you know,
you just need to like pick. As a teacher, you just need to be there to scoop them up once the net breaks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this fucking cunt.
Yeah.
The spectrum, or that it's assigned at birth, like the magical sorting hat from Harry Potter. Get the hell out of there. That's not somebody who's science-based. So this is the war. We're not dealing with anti-trans versus pro-trans. We're dealing with trans as a sympathetic scientific phenomenon that needs to be understood and treated with all sympathy and empathy and scientific rigor. And
The
this
Internet
very
Commission is trying to save us.
politicized, very spiritual, new
Yeah.
agey movement that just wants to shut down all critical thinking and treat it as just a big glary love fest. That's what's going on. Thanks.
Would you, Torin, would you consider me someone who
Yeah.
doesn't critically think? Like, does that seem to do? Like, I'm not a critical thinker, right? It's not like I over fucking analyze everything.
No.
Jesus fucking Christ! And also, like, I don't know. He's a fucking moron.
I mean,
That was an
there's probably.
especially dumb person.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably certain aspects in your life or your day-to-day life with work where you may have to
Oh yeah,
overanalyze stuff. But
yeah,
as a general, no.
Yeah. But I definitely, I'm like, he can't say that like one side has critical thinking and one side doesn't, and then be on the side that is fucking brain dead. You can't do that. You can't just make up with, and you can't just rearrange. This is like the pro-life fuckers. The fact that we're letting them call themselves pro-life is fucking amazing. But no, you're not pro-science, you fucking idiots, because like you can't claim to be pro-science when every single fucking piece of scientific like fucking organization in the entire fucking world disagrees with you.
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
And like, do you want proof trans people exist? Hi, you fucking idiots. Like, oh, we're sympathetic towards trans people. No, you're not. Being sympathetic doesn't mean talking over. Like, it doesn't mean committing a genocide. I have never felt sympathized with by anyone who wanted to genocide me. I'm sorry, I just haven't.
yeah, whenever they use really sympathize with trans people,
Yeah.
I'm
Like, I'm not a
sure.
fucking baby.
Yeah,
I don't need the
I'm
fucking
sure.
empathy.
Yeah, I'm sure. If I remember rightly, I'm sure Helen Stanland said that.
Yeah.
When we, yes, she did.
That was one of the
I
reasons I got really pissed.
sympathise with trans people. No, don't.
Yeah, that was one of the moment where it like I'm going to just now it's just anger.
Yeah, it's like
because I hate that.
if you sympathise with trans people, Helen Stanland,
You would be such a fucking cunt.
a lot more trans people would be alive.
Yeah. Yeah. She definitely has lives on her fucking conscience.
But
I hope
yeah,
this is
that
hell.
was the shit show of Arty Morty trying to pretend to be a lot more intelligent than he actually is.
So like he's trying to pretend he can't think at all, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Given the fact they kept given the fact they kept repeating spiritualism and science, it's like if you need to constantly repeat to re-engage your argument even further, like you're on a losing battle. But yeah.
And also remember, Arty, you're not gay anymore because you need to prove to me, specifically me, that you are gay. And I will never believe you, so you are fucked. Like sucks to suck, I guess. I'll see you in Suicide Lightation Town. But I just wanted, like, I gotta show this fucking because remember he said that like trans kids were especially effeminate boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to like, do I press present or something?
Let me exit. You go to let me stop share. You go to present and then share screen and then
wait, tomorrow's fuck it, I don't care. Okay, I just need to Google Chrome. Lighter. Okay, but I don't want. I want to fucking. It's there's uh yeah, video file. I'm doing a fucking video because this. Otherwise, we get to do this next time if I don't get this to work right now. But like, I want just the notion that he says that and this is what I fucking was is so fucking funny to me. There, 13 years. Oh, here we go. Can we see this? How do you? Okay. It's being uploaded, I think. Otherwise, because I digitalized an old VHS tape like the other day. That's when I figured this out. Otherwise, we'll just have to like replay, do it another time. I found it's just funny that like effeminate, and then I saw myself, and it's just like this fucking massive cock. Like, and I don't mean like I had a big dick. I mean like I was a fucking shithead, like in a very specifically dude way. I acted like a fucking shithead in this. Why doesn't it want to play? How do I do this? Show all the controls. I want to murder you. Oh, fuck it. You know what? Because it needed me to like go out of fucking Google Chrome and stuff. Don't show these tips again. But I want then I want that one. What am I? There we go. Yeah, yes, now it works. It will work. Capture your screen, fix it. But I want you to die. Yeah, I have to fix this shit first. This is how I am with technology. I fucking hate technology. I don't know if you noticed. I remove this bullshit. We're going to do this next time though, because yeah. I also have like a thing about that whole concept of expertise in gender and stuff that I need to, but I need to finish writing that one first. I have a few philosophical concepts that I need to do at some point. That's what I'm kind of getting at. Like I said, when we had our last, because we had that bullshit with the labels, that episode.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is probably going to be my, like, when I suggest a subject. And yeah, it is, but it's going to take like a while before because I need to write the philosophy for it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of what we have just watched,
that was
probably one of the most boring, uninteresting cunt I've ever seen.
Yeah. But like the video was fun. Like this was fun for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this was because like I had a rough one with the last one, and I've been going like. That's kind of why I'm going to need to do some philosophy bullshit, like because I'm going to need to like take a bit of a break mentally from like, oh, the world wants to kill me. That's why I'm going to need to like do some kind of philosophy bullshit at during the episodes. But last week wasn't fun for me. Like that became fun after this one. This was fun. I had fun tonight.
Yeah, it was more of a let's just sit and watch this guy just fucking burn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice.
So yeah,
it was a nice
but yeah, that will be it for us watching these so-called TERFs, because we're not going to watch anymore because I think we've had enough.
Yeah, we don't need to fucking we don't need to prolong this suffering anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, we will be back next week. We'll be back to record an episode on Monday because we have an interview coming up, and
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
I'm hoping to hear from her within the next 2 days because I need to have her email so I can send her a link because obviously I don't want to leave it to the last minute because I need to know. But then we will be back for next Thursday as well. So, and then we'll probably cover some topics that have gone amiss. I recently read. I saved a topic that has to do with like trans people in Sweden, but we'll get to that next week.
Cool. And like at some point, like I said before, I'm really going to need to like this is the weird shit that actually is true about being trans because there's so much misinformation, but like it is also true that a lot of us dresses like little girls, but that's also because we didn't have a girlhood. Like that's kind of weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
a weird thing that is completely twisted out of all proportions by
absolutely. But and like having to deal with that at the same time as you have to deal with the stereotype, it's a fun one. It's a fun run being a trans person. It actually is. It's a fucking weird thing to be, and I want people to know that it's fucking weird and insane and kind of funny at times.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the outlook for next week. Interview Monday, that will obviously go up as a bonus episode. And then we'll be back.
That's a good idea.
Thursday, as normal. So yeah. Just another reminder that we will be doing an episode on the cast reports, but bear in mind that will probably be won't be for another, say, maybe 3 and a bit weeks because I haven't even started reading it yet myself. I'm going to go.
I absolutely haven't started reading it yet because like I'm coming up to having to set the grades for the year. And I might have to like wait until I know more about that, like because that's like work has to take priority at some point.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I will try and make a start on reading the cast report. At some point during next week, and I will slowly work my way through it here and there. But do bear in mind that when we do come around to do an episode on it, we won't go as in depth as probably some other podcasters will because of the time. But we will do an episode on it. We may I may try and get someone, like, I don't know, see if Heather Patterson wants to join us for that one, if she wants to, of course, because she might not necessarily want to, but I'm going to reach out, see if she wants to discuss that with us.
If that's the case, we can't really promise it to not be in depth because like and like I'll if I find something about it that it's like really fucking, then I'm probably going to like be psychotic about it again. But
but what I've heard from other people who have either read it or have just read a few lines of it, it's probably not going to be worth our while because from what I've heard, other people have already torn it to shreds already. So
like, I'm good at people. I'm not always good at law.
Yeah. So who knows? We'll each read it at our own time and leisure, and then we'll make a decision as to whether we will cover it or not. But that is the gist of it. So as always, stay safe. Have a great weekend. And we will see you as early as Monday and again on Thursday. So stay safe.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Right, do that.